Now, for most people, having 3 world records under your belt might mean it's time to put your feet up and enjoy the festive period. But not for former army medic and pioneer Preet Chandi, who's training to become the first female adventurer ever to ski solo and unsupported to the North Pole. She's already done it in the South Pole. She joins me now live from Antarctica, where she's doing her final bits of training and preparation. Merry Christmas to you, Preet. I would imagine it looked slightly different for you this year, although you did get a white Christmas.
I did. Merry Christmas. Yeah, it's beautiful to be out here, and it's nice to be out here not doing an expedition as well this year.
Now, normally when somebody says to me, oh, the guest is going to do their own camera work from their location, I think, oh, this is all going to go horribly wrong. But look at this spectacular view. Talk to me about what you've been doing there for the last few days.
It's pretty amazing here. So I am actually working in Antarctica this year. But the last few days we've been able to celebrate Christmas. We had an amazing Christmas dinner. And then whenever I get free time, I am training here.
You're at the wrong place for Santa, though, aren't you? He is where you're going. Talk to me about why you wanted to do the North Pole, because you've done the South. Why the North Pole? And I understand it's a lot different to the South Pole, so the challenges will be different this time around.
They definitely will. So I think, for me, I knew nothing about Antarctica 4 years ago. And I remember learning about the South Pole and I was like, oh, it'd be great to go to the North Pole too, knowing nothing about it. Started to look into it. I'm like, wow, this seems very, very challenging. But like with anything, you learn by looking into it, and heading to the North Pole is very different. So in Antarctica, for example, I am skiing generally on the land, and I've got 24-hour daylight in the summer season, whereas heading to the Arctic, I'll be on sea ice, which means that it's moving. So for example, I could set up camp one day and then be in a different location because the sea is moving. I have to cross sections of open water, so I've got a dry suit that I have to get into to cross those sections of water. I have to climb over rough ice, which can be very, very high. So I'd have to take my skis off, get into snowshoes and literally climb over those sections and get the sled pulling it over those sections as well. And there are polar bears as well in the Arctic. So very, very different challenge. And to be honest, it's one that, I know there's a slim chance of me actually making the endpoint, but that's also the beauty in it. It's trying to do something that I know is really challenging. And there's beauty in trying, there's beauty in the journey itself. And I really hope that that's an inspirational message in itself, It's something the end goal might be really hard. It might not even be possible, but I think you should try it anyway.
Yeah, you've got to be in it to win it. And there's, success in failure. There's always something to be learned from failure. But we're not going to talk about failure. We're going to have a positive outlook for you and back you for success in this. Because when you say it's a slim chance of you completing it, this is based on the fact that if you do it, which we really hope and wish that you will, you'd be the first ever woman and only the third person to ever achieve the challenge.
Yes, to do it solo and unsupported, that is correct. And, it's so, so challenging. And I'm so lucky to have spoken to people that have gone before me to help me to try and get there as well. Because, of course, you don't know what you don't know. And that terrain is just so, so different. And it's going to be very challenging. And I know that. And I'm just excited to even attempt it.
So you're unsupported. You've got a team with you there now. What are your family making of this? Because obviously you're working in Antarctica this year. You're away for long stretches of time doing that, also doing these challenges. What are your friends and family making of this new challenge coming up?
That's a good question. So I think they're proud of me. I think maybe a few people think, I'm a little bit crazy potentially, but, I think we all are, so that's okay. But I know that they're also really proud as well. And they're happy that I want to keep not just pushing my own boundaries, but I think for me, it's always been more than just me. If I'm just one person, but it's what inspires me to keep going as well. If somebody who knew nothing about this world, a Punjabi woman from Derby, can go and do these things, and anyone can do anything. And, when I'm doing these difficult challenges, often I'm just thinking about taking it one step at a time, putting my left foot forward and my right foot forward. And I think when we're having difficult moments, wherever we are, we often think about what's that one thing I need to do, whether it's I need to get out of bed and I'm then going to brush my teeth or step out the door. And I really hope that people can relate to the journey in different ways.
It's truly inspirational what you're doing. And you've missed out on all the sort of mince pies and tins of chocolate that are knocking around at this time of year. And you probably could have done with that because you're having to consume quite a few calories, aren't you? You could have got away with as many mince pies as you like, eating the whole tin of Quality Street.
So I have advent calendars here that my mum got me before I left. And I'm eating a lot of chocolate, so don't worry about that.
Oh, well done, Mum. Well, you'll certainly burn it off in the North Pole. Look, good luck. When do you set off?
March, hopefully.
March, right. OK, we will follow your progress and look forward to seeing how you get on. That's Preet Chandi there.